I just felt like they didn't pay as much attention to Mavis as well as the gem carry. I think when Angel had that hypercharged super, that was the ideal time to strike and to steal the goods. But you can see the stamina of Eclipsar Esport there, just really holding their own and taking everything they had to throw at them. STMN looking a bit sheepish at the moment, honestly.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Bobby just kind of running in over and over, and you have to. Yeah, really do have to with this brawler. But he's getting taken down so many times. Rage going to go in, might be able to get the burn down shots on, but not enough. Maybe it's with a nice super in there to kind of stop him from doing that. I don't think he just turns his focus and kills Rage too. 5-0 and a sandstorm.
You just can't turn your back on OP. A miss super there from Bobby, the hypercharge available to him, but he needs to gain that super back as well. Drage found Gugu, but Mavis finds the stun, finds the gems from the mid as well. That's 8-0 now in favor of Eclipsar.
I mean, the only over and over, what can he do? OP throws up a shield on the left-hand side, and there starts the count, but they need to stay alive. Not going to get the kill as Angel Boy can't finish that one off, but a hypercharge ready to roll for both Bobby and Rage.
Huge value coming in. This could be a great position for STMN, but there is not much time. Angel Boy jumps in, does line up against the wall, but he will stay standing. The gems are still with Eclipsar, and I don't think it's going to be enough time to make it happen. Eclipsar Esports take the set.
Just going for different targets. One was going for one and one was going for another. You need just a single one of those two backline brawlers to go down and the countdown's reset. But Eclipsar hold on and STMN fall short in set one.
And you can see straight away, Gugu saying to the crowd, come on, give us your all. And that was the difference maker yesterday. We saw in that first instance of Eclipsar Esport, they just really didn't look themselves. They were just burying themselves time and time again. In that second match, they came to life. And a lot of that came from the crowd and gaining that first set. As I said yesterday, they are a momentum-based team. And that's the best start.
Raised it at the start, it's like
Such a risky one.
It is so risky, and the hypercharge occasionally it did something. Sometimes he was able to get pulls back, but the whole time he was giving Sandy supers.
And that was the downfall in that first set of STMN. As you can see there as well, a full sold-out crowd as well. So you just know that when you're in the lead, that's going to be behind you. When you're not, it's going to be very hard to turn things around. But a lot of that, like we said, I felt came down to the draft. I mean, I just don't really feel like Jackie's the kind of best brawler to have. I understand the synergy with the Max, I get it, but it just didn't really seem to provide too much for STMN, in my opinion. And that's nothing to do with Bobby. Bobby's an incredible player. We know what Bobby's able to deliver. Definitely a team decision, maybe one of those risks to take at that earliest of sets, just to kind of see whether they can get ahead off the back of something which Eclipsar Esports aren't expecting to come to light. But nonetheless, it was a risk which did not pay off. And look at Mavis, I said as well, I felt like there was not enough attention being paid to him. And he was on a tear, 11 takedowns. What a game for him.
I mean, for such a long time, I was like, I need Chester to prove me. Everybody keeps on playing it, it keeps on losing. And then eventually something just clicked and everybody just started winning with it, and now he can't stop. But yeah, a little bit disappointing there from STMN AU. Drage with 1 kill, 290 DPS, and Bobby, he did manage to get 4, but I mean, it's just not, the 4 kills aren't worth the pick.
Like you say, it just feeds over so much to your opposition, and that affects your entire team over the course of time. So, you know, for me, Eclipsar Esports got the draft right. We felt quite confident on that front before they went into the game, hoping to see a bit more from STMN, but I think they'll be looking back at that first set and thinking the same way, right, let's try and get a draft a bit more solid, a bit more grounded for us to be able to make work, because it was a risk. We knew it was coming, but it was a risk that just did not pay off.
Yes. Really poor draft, I feel, to start from STMN. You're going to have to bounce back from this one, and that's the question we kind of have to pose with this team. And I feel like, you know, some of the players especially, it's so hard for them to kind of bounce back. They need to start strong to be able to finish, and that's fair to say for both sides as well. But it is something that's going to be required. This is the golden ticket game. This is possibly, well, it is going to be the last competitive game that one of these teams have in the Brawl Stars Championship this year. So they really need to bounce back, or Eclipsar are going to run away with it.
For one of these two teams, their entire year's work will be effectively for nothing, or at least very little, a little bit of consolation prize money, but their journey will be over. And a golden ticket to the World Finals for one of these two teams at the moment. Eclipsar Esport looking like they had a good night's rest. That's to say the least. It was a much better start, more convincing. And in that first game, they were put under a lot of pressure also and came out victorious. As we move in to Brawl Ball, penalty kick. The bans being Cordelius, the Meg, the Barley first pick for STMN. And I do quite like that. The Rico ban as well. On the side of Eclipsar, the ban of the Frank, the Clancy, and the Larry and the Laurie, and their picks to follow.
Yeah, I do like the Barley pick. It's always been very, very solid. We've seen so many tanks on this map. Usually when Frank's in play, there's a Primo in play and stuff like that. So maybe we won't see Primo this time. But literally the whole of that left-hand side, the Meg, the Rico, the Barley, that's kind of the usual really good comp on this map. And STMN have banned out, 3 really solid brawlers and picked up pretty much the 4th best.
If STMN want to consider tanks as well, there's that final pick available for Eclipse to shut it down, and Gale's already a strong tank counter in itself. I do love the Larry and Laurie here, so I'm pleased to see it banned, but certainly this can provide a bit more to the Barley. But Barry could be very much on the idea here of Eclipse Esport to have something of that control factor themselves, and now would be a great time to select it as well. Let's see whether they're considering that as well. Buster again. This could be one of these brawler picks that just keeps giving Eclipse Esport the good that just never gets banned out, because it's just not currently so rife within the meta. But it's definitely a team-based pick that just OP is phenomenal with.
Yeah, and it's kind of like one of the tanks that can kind of do something against the Gale as well. So now if STMN want to go with a tank, they just can't really. Nita's going to roll on in, and it seems like they're just going to go all-out control, and Surge going to follow up along with that as well. STMN comp, I do not mind this. It's a lot better for me. I like the Barley, I like the Nita, the Surge. Going to be able to get quite a few levels off that Buster, so it should be fine.
Do Eclipse go with throw now and just have something with the lane for the Barley, or just try and brute force the situation? Because that could be a tough one to handle. Certainly the Surge would do well into those kind of comps that are running into you as the Nita, so they might opt to go for control here, to be honest. But either way, I do like the way that STMN have rounded things off. I think the Nita here, very, very good. Lily, we haven't really seen much of Lily at all, and I feel like it's becoming one of those brawlers that's just drifting away slightly, many are forgetting about, but it really can pose a huge threat. You're able to get behind enemy lines, you're able to be so sneaky in your approach, and you're able to attack when the time is rife, and that in a game mode like Brawl Ball can be devastating.
And this is the thing, do they just go all out attack and just go for it? Feed Surge a couple of levels, it's going to get reset to level 2 when we score anyway, so I feel like that might be the route they just go. Click a quick little gadget from Lily, get into those enemy lines, and have Buster and Gale follow in when they're trying to deal with that Lily. Might be the best option. I like both of the comps here. I'm not really going to be like, I think one's better than the other. I think Gale's always a really solid pickup to have, but also they don't really have anything that Gale's like, so good against.
Lily into Barley, though, that is like the kryptonite of that very brawler. Drage is going to have a tough time, and it's going to have to require Bobby and Angel Boy to really support him through this, but look at this already. A great start for STMN, some great takedowns, the ball being pushed through as well. Google will have gadget as well to be able to just try and defend as best he can here, but if Drake stays in position, gains that last call, gets some supers in, gets closer towards the hypercharge as well. Look at this, STMN just coming to life right now.
Listen, if you're going to go one by one and have the respawns. Don't go 2 at a time on a jump pad and get concede. It just doesn't make sense to me. They do score early on. STMN are starting much better, but Lily's got a super and the launch pad's there once again, ready to roll. Super going to be used, and it will be Drage, as you said. Biggest kryptonite. Yeah,
and it's OP versus Drage's personal again. The ball pushed through. Gugu survives here. Bruce on the hunt here, but Angel Boy from the left does find their taps, and the ball to the left. A solid defense for STMN and some good value created along the way.
Yeah, really nice bear pinch there as well from Angel Boy. It was kind of following in, so he couldn't turn back and just like, okay, I don't want the goal. Another super used by OP, and he's going to use that sticky syrup as well, but OP's just going to pop another gadget and carry on. Bobby with the verti jump might be able to get Gugu here in the bear, assisting him along the way. Got that level 3, might be able to take out OP, but it is some over-aggression that might not be warranted. Oh, Bobby, that's beautiful. Lovely stuff, but maybe it should be able to get the kill. Will be traded out, though, as Drage and Angel Boy do get that kill. And I mean, they can just play passive. They can stick this ball in the corner if they really want.
This is the team play that I was hoping and expecting to see from STMN in the first set. And it's looking better. Bobby finds OP, cuts the upper hand here as well. Gugu just trying to make some space here on the right-hand side, but these splash damages from Drage forcing him back. The recycling of the spawns here, quicker on the side of Eclipse, of course, with the jump pad coming in, but it's been replaced. Not sure that's in the best of places myself, but I mean, we'll see how it fares. Certainly, Drage's got to be much more careful now on that right-hand side.
Hypercharge again, and he threw up the barrier as well. Not really going to do too much for him there. OP's going to go down, and this bear still wreaking havoc in the spawn. Maybe he's going to go for the jump pad in, has the super in hand, but does go down. Just lockdown defense from STMN, and who would have thought the ball would be put in the corner?
Yeah, and the hypercharge with Drage as well. It's brought Barley into such a dangerous place. So much damage. It can break down the bush. Also here, one final ditched attempt from Eclipse Esport to get this ball. And Bobby shuts down immediately the right-hand side of Mavis. Gugu soon to follow. OP the last man standing with 6 seconds remaining. But Bruce gets the swipes. And it's going to be STMN getting 1 on the board.
And I mean, that's just complete lockdown as well from STMN. Really nice stuff in there. They get the goal early on, they put the ball in the corner, and they play what their comp does best, defense. They don't need to go on the aggressive when they've pretty much just been provided a goal. They could have kind of held in the spawn. I don't know if it was a risk worth taking for Eclipse to just have 2 people jump in. Maybe they get a triple kill and score, but usually most of the time they just concede.
And this OP Drage interaction is actually going to be feeding the ego of Drage over time. As long as STMN are there to support it, it feels personal every time that early attack comes in, but STMN are gaining much better value off the back of these interactions and able to take the ball forwards now. Once Bobby gets those surge stacks flying in as well from this position, a great place to do just that if Eclipse Esports try to push in. So that's where surge for me can be a really tough one to make work in the early stages, and Eclipse Esports have kind of lost the moment to strike.
Yeah, Bobby wanted the super and did get it there as well. Level 2, Drage going to try and throw some stuff in. OP, oh, just misses that super, and
wow.
that is like the worst thing you can do with Lily. Sticky Syrup Mixer comes in, Bobby going to be there for the 1-2-3 pass, surely. But Drage misses the pass, and Mebius is back in business, ready to defend, still in a tough position. STMN still have control, but that had to be a goal.
Yeah, it was a certified goal for sure, but now here is a solid chance. Bruce pushing things forward, Bobby there with full stacks as well. Drage has the hypercharge, but the communication clearly there. Let's just hold back, gain back a better time for this goal. But there's definitely a missed opportunity there, no doubt about it. Sticky fingers on the side of STMN.
Well, Drage now going to get that kill. Bobby trying to follow in for Mebius. Can't feed him super as this defense is going to hold through. Might be willing to jump in, doesn't. Chooses to hold again. STMN playing so passively. Now the last call comes in and it's hypercharge as well. OP's there, ready to jump in, ready to use the super. Does, but he's outnumbered. STMN going to score. And with a minute on the clock, Eclipsar have got work to do.
Yeah, STMN just bought so much time for themselves, honestly. They were in a great spot, definitely some mistakes, but nonetheless, they kept Eclipsar Esports suppressed. OP going in, but Bobby then still getting the upper hand, and it's going to be Angel Boy on the top going in. The Bruce Bear then really pushing back. Maybe it's the jump pad there to try and push the Bruce away, and it's not enough! Angel Boy shoots it in, and STMN get a set!
Just pure brilliance. And the STMN fan in the crowd absolutely loving it. I'm kind of feeling that was maybe Nikunaki. I'm not actually sure, but I think it kind of looks like it. I'm going to go with that. But STMN, what a set they've just had to come back there. Maybe a few mistakes on the defense, but also a massive mistake on the offense as well from Drage. That pass really should have resulted into a goal, but in the end, they did win the set. They evened things out, and it's being the game we promised it to be.
But despite that mistake, you could see how much better of a draft it was. I mean, Eclipsar had no response. They went with the Lily to go with that counter, that hard counter into the Barley, but it was probably better to go with that berry pick instead and just bring some control of their own, because that's entirely what was lacking the whole time. They were in the back lines and really at the mercy of STMN.
We didn't even see the Lily. I feel like we didn't even see the Lily, really. Yeah, it got a couple of supers onto Drage here and there, but other than that, like, I feel like it was just constant respawns. Respawn, respawn, respawn. It's the same for everybody on that side of ECP. Maybe you think maybe it's out the equation, as he was surviving quite nicely and also did do a pretty good job of some solo defenses in there. But at the end, it was just constant control, and I loved how in that offensive position. They've got a Barley, they've got a Surge who's just going to wreak havoc as soon as he starts getting those levels. If they want to push out, they're providing Bobby with levels, they're providing Angel Boy with a super, Drage with a super, and eventually it's going to end up in a goal.
I can't wait for these stats, honestly, but I think it's a lot of credit to Bobby because he was the protector of Drage. When Lily came in, Bobby was there to be able to get the stacks off the back of things and be able to really counteract the situation. Like I said, you know, if you're able to really eradicate the Barley, you can do so little. Oh, look at that. I'm speaking of the very man himself.
DPS,
yeah.
Like Gale. Who Gale can't do anything about, and you know, perfectly. They drafted well, and that's the
amazing value in that game. I mean, needed mood booster for them to gain that set, to not crumble, to not be 2 sets down at this stage now. That's going to be a huge sigh of relief for them, no doubt about it. And now we're all even.
Yeah, I mean, that literally was make or break for STMN, really. Like, they either go 2 down against an opponent who have waved in their face before, have said goodbye to them at World Finals, reverse swept them. If you're down 2-0 against a person like that, I think your head just goes even further down.
Yeah.
So that was the one that they really needed to bounce back. But it looks like we're going on to Hideout in Bounty. A little bit of a different vibe still. Control will remain, I'm sure. The Gene, Carl, and Something bands on the left-hand side. The Meg's going to be picked up early, and that is a good pick. Angela was the 3rd band from STMNAU. And the Kit, good. Hate it on this map. Pearl and Byron also be banned out by Eclipsar.
no nanny ban. You know, this is a nanny map. Yeah. And Angel Boy on that particular brawler, as we know, it's one of his go-tos. Let's see, it can just shred for a Meg. You know, it's a really tough thing for a Meg to really counteract it. Let's see how they are feeling with this one. Obviously, sharpshooters, Piper's available here. I think the Byron ban, a very underrated one that I really can get behind here. Certainly so. Bell, obviously the Mark going to be playing a key role in keeping Meg suppressed and low and out of Meg as frequently as possible. The follow-up here, it could be Brock, it could be Piper. Like I say, we haven't seen Bobby on Piper. What I wouldn't give to see that happen. Larry and Laurie, Drager's kind of go-to throw on this map, gets a lot of good value here as well, and definitely one of the much higher play rates of throwers in the APAC region. They'll pretty much play this brawler everywhere. It's so versatile.
Yeah, well, the power's kind of in STMN's hands now. Do Eclipsar want to take this nanny that Angel Boy's so notorious for? Do they want to go a completely different route and try and counter it and then have the option that STMN might not go it anyway? It's kind of, I feel like the ball is definitely in STMN's court, at least as so far as this draft. They've got the thrower, they've got the long range. That's the kind of staple of what you need on this map. And Eclipsar just taking a different route. They're going to go the max. I mean, Jean's banned out, so you can't really pair it with that. And maybe a Carl you'd usually pair it with or something like that as well, also banned out. They're going with a Piper. And I mean, that's fine by me. I just don't know if the max really pairs that well with, I mean, it does with Meg, but not with Piper.
It was great, it's Piper, nanny. But I was really a bit disappointed. I wanted to see that brawler show on the side of STMN EU, honestly. But that could well be the play from here from Eclipsar. Take it out of the hands of STMN. You know, as we were saying coming into this matchup, you know, Bobby's role of the brawlers that he's choosing recently in the LCQ, definitely a bit of a question mark sometimes. So that would have been a perfect brawler for him to allow to shine on. Let's see for STMN what they are thinking here. 8-bit, yeah, I was going to mention it before, but it's honestly a bit of a risky one to even talk about in terms of dropped on this map because it's just not what you kind of expect to see. But that damage booster, you know, in the right shade of cover, can obviously do so much to provide your team value, and of course, you know, to be able to place down if you're really under scrutiny from a Piper as an 8-bit and you're slow and sluggish, having that there, so a bit of a shielding can go a really long way. But against the max, that's gonna be tough. I mean, 8-bit really is going to be struggling if those aggressive pushes come in from Eclipsar and the Meg as well. It's a really good comp actually here for Eclipsar.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very long-winded break though. They've got to get that super with the Piper, who's probably not going to be fed too easily by this composition. You kind of expect Angel Boy to get the super, just stick it behind this left-hand side wall and lock it down with Drage. But both teams have got to kind of get to their setups, and that's going to be the issue. But Blue Star does go the way of STMN.
I mean, maybe it's, of course, one of the best max players in EMEA, and it could have been OPE as well. They're both so accomplished with it. He's just so dangerous, honestly. Just the Blue Star of STMN, and a nice pinch from this right-hand side. Maybe it's finds Drage already. That's going to give Eclipsar Raceball the lead.
Yeah, well, backed up into their spawn. Bobby going to try and find a few shots onto Gugu. Gets two. Can't find the third just yet. Home mid rest be used. But Bobby doesn't get hit at all. And hits three pretty much consecutive shots on a Piper.
It takes one to know one, doesn't it? And that's the experience of Bobby on that Piper pick, just knowing how to juke and how to get inside the mind of someone else playing it. Wonderful stuff from him as Angel Boy then just beams into OP on this right-hand side, who's healing up along the way with the help of that gadget. So no toolbox for him. He's going to be having to depend upon that. No shielding as on the left-hand side. Maybe it's going aggressive. Gets the speed up to OPE, and STMN have got to hold firm now.
I mean, that's the nest egg of dreams. You couldn't really ask for a better slow there. Double trip on it, and it stopped them right in the tracks as the max speed started to get going. Maybe he's coming forward. There's another nest egg to stop him once more. And the follow-up shots from Bobby are just spectacular. Got his hypercharge now as well. They've got an 8-bit turret. Lockdown should be pending.
Maybe it's saved by a pixel as Gugu jumps away on the left just for safety. OP is still in the mech though. Maybe it's now marked up too, so we can't go super aggressive. Pops nest egg as well. Drake just some great taps. A phase shift to safety. Angel Boy now 1,500 and goes down to Gugu. It's a lead still for Eclipsar. 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the mark remains, and if Drage can push them back into spawn, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they're kind of just allowing it. They're backing off. They're not putting up a stand. The shot finds its way in, and the bouncing is there. Hypercharge going to be used, but no speed was used, but not hypercharge by maybe. It's weird considering the 7 seconds, but now he's going to use it to try and evade all these shots, and he's doing it. How is he dodging so many shots? But he goes down. Angel Boy so low, and it's not going to matter. The Blue Star remains with STMN, and Eclipsar fall short.
Oh my word, what a close end, and it was the right call. It really was, to really focus maybe from that top right. Angel Boy there as well, just trying to get out, but that Blue Star, of course, so important now. And the confidence, you can feel it. It's starting to really nurture STMN here, as they know that this could be another set.
I mean, Bobby just really played just so well there, hitting so many shots. Drage following up at the end to help him out. Angel Boy, you know, he knew he was a worthwhile sacrifice at the end there. Didn't really matter too much if he went down. But STMN not got the blue star this time, but control all in their hands, and a Piper in spawn is not going to do too much.
Yes, certainly not at this early stage. No super to be able to evade anything or make any breaks for Gugu. Healing a little bit, but a nice tap there from Angel Boy will just keep him low still, and that's exactly what STMN need to do. Just a little bit of chip damage here and there. It goes a long, long way, and already, you know, a mark there for OP. He can't go aggressive. This is where STMN is starting to shine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good mark to have so early on in the game as well. He was able to get it and throw it onto OP as well, and he's just not missing. Bobby, stop it. Eventually missing, but then he hits the follow-up. I mean, it's just brilliance from another mark in hand. Larry and Laurie's going to go down. It takes some fire. It does go down, but that's going to sap all the ammo out of ECP and allow surely Angel Boy to make moves on the right.
Yeah, Bell never the most shiny of brawlers, but when you see it played to such perfection, it's wondrous to see. Gugu, though, trying to find Drage, does find one, finds 200 HP for Drage, but he survives for now.
Well, Gugu's got this break in hand. You've got to question whether or not he's just going to use it or he's going to hold it for the late game to try and survive when STMN eventually get this push-up. Mark still on OP as well, but shots starting to come through there. The hypercharge follows up, get him out of that mech, and now this is an issue for ECP. They don't have a mech, and that's the one thing keeping them up.
30 seconds on the clock. Let's go for Mobius. Finds Gugu in a nice position here, finds Angel Boy, he gets the tap as well! It's 3 stars in the blue! Bobby's trying to find Mobius, and that might be the blue star, but a missed mark as well, and Bobby goes down himself. Eclipse our esports have just exploded towards the end of this game, and they're going to be able to take this quite convincingly, so it's going to go to the next game, and after that, whoever wins it gets ahead.
7-0 at the end of that game. They had no mech, and they still made it work in the late game. That is brilliance from Eclipse our esports. How fast, as you said, they just exploded into that offense. As soon as they saw an opportunity, they seized it.
You can see the crowd really getting behind Eclipse now at just the right time in this set. Oh, this is dangerous. Dangerous stuff now for STMN. It was such a convincing first game. That time round, it didn't work out as Eclipse will spent the majority of it on the back lines as well, and were able to survive on and just time their strike wisely.
Yeah, Blue Star's big ass Mobius just survives with a well-timed phase shift there. Keeps him in the mix, but nest egg's already been established by Bobby. Nice shots from Angel Boy to keep him low as well. Homemade recipe falls up from Gugu to Drage on the bottom side. So far, it's just an exchanging of shots, not really blows, but eventually Bobby getting some connections.
Yeah, Gugu had a great game in that last one and really focused the time more onto Drage as well, as opposed to that lane side with Bobby, which he just was not able to win. So definitely a nice adaptation from Eclipse our esports, which was working out, but Drage now just utilizing that cover, just trying to be cautious as the nest egg placements are a nice addition to that right-hand side there. Let's see now as STMN just rotating around to this left-hand side, utilizing that cover for Drage and just starting to work their way around with the damage booster.
Yeah, I mean, that rotation from Gugu, he was kind of fine in that match, but just allowed Angel Boy to just come over and place a free damage boost, which is going to be a big help, but Bobby gets tapped twice. One and then a follow-up homemade recipe. Gugu popping off and keeping Eclipsar in the lead.
Phase shift from Mobius pops 2 nest eggs as well, as now OP was thinking about going through the break there as well. It's going to expose Angel Boy and Drage. Bobby Lower goes down yet again. It's a 5-star lead for Eclipse our esports as Drage is down to 100 HP yet again. It's crumbling apart.
Another booster ready to go for Angel Boy, though. STMN, 40 seconds left to hop back into action. Homemade recipe falls short this time, and that's Gugu's last speed ready to go now, and he's going to use it, try explode into the offense again. Drage needs to back off. He's got 2 against him, but he gets stopped in the wall. Really tough battle with his bottom side. I can't really see it, but Angel Boy solo as well. Falls to Meg outside of the mech, and Bobby gets double tapped. ECP running away.
Unbelievable jukes from OP on that left-hand side. He came out on top, and he really should not have STMN missing a lot of the shots, and the pressure clearly getting to them as Gugu then pops the hypercharge. Drage is low again on the right-hand side. Maybe should finish him off. Angel Boy's not able to body block yet again. 11 stars, there's not a single star for STMN as Eclipsar will take the set.
Pure brilliance from Eclipsar. How well they played those second 2 games of Bounty. Absolutely unreal. A little bit of a team talk going on now. 1 more set is required for them to go to World Finals. STMN need 2 in a row to be able to take this all the way. And this is such a tough battle.
This is the first time that I've seen a team really stop amongst the celebration to go, guys, this is where we're at currently, and just bring things back to a grounded level, not to get too far ahead of themselves, but just to give themselves a pep talk and just keep themselves grounded. Very interesting stuff to see on the side of Eclipse or Esport, and kind of what we need to see actually on the side of STMN. They're the ones that need to do that right now. We need to see more from them. They had a great start, but they're not bringing things through to finalize them. They're just thinking maybe they were ahead a bit too early for their own liking.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just headphones off and a team talk for ECP, and it just seemed like STMN's heads are just dropping maybe a little bit. They didn't really seem to be talking too much when we saw them on the cams. And I mean, Mebius played phenomenally as well. His early game aggression was really kind of unmatched, and being able to get those blue stars as well was just absolutely phenomenal. This one, I mean, this is the big issue. STMN, they know they need to go aggressive. Eclipse are play defensive the whole game, and then it just gets to the point where STMN go, and they just go get punished.
It's been some fantastic moments from STMN, some great drafting decisions, but you know, I thought that was going to be their set after that first game, and that's all credit to Eclipse. Their ability to just adapt around the situation, to just develop their strategy, to evolve along the way. Gugu with 7 takedowns, and he didn't have the best of first games at all. He was actually kind of like more the weak link, and then really found his own and started to focus on the right people. What a game for him. It really was. Straight with 0, Angel Boy with 1, 2 for Bobby, you know, but 3, 2, and 7 on the side of Eclipse Esport. It's just looking better, and now STMN face a really difficult challenge because they've got to get the best draft of the year to survive on in this series.
I mean, this is the difference between Bell and Piper. You know, Bell might hit a load of shots, might have 100 more DPS pretty much, but 5 less kills just because of pretty much the lack of a guaranteed kill with the homemade recipe. Like, literally is just that. Bobby's hitting so many more shots to have 100 more DPS on a map like this at such long range. But Gugu's able to find the finishing blows, and his teammates might be able to assist him in that as well, and that's just not something STMN could do. Drage was locked behind walls, and Angel Boy was so slow for the entire game because he wasn't even using boosted booster either.
It's an unusual thing, you know, because when you look back to last year, Angel Boy just having some of the best of celebrations, and you know, definitely for me the shining star of the whole entire LCQ. And you know, there's just something about this roster that for me just isn't displaying the nature of its glory at the current moment in time. And it's a tough thing, you know. You've got to remember that Angel Boy is the sole remainder from the beginning of the season in this squad, and now it's just like trying to find where everyone's place is, and they haven't had the most amount of time to do just that. As we go on to Heist and Hot Potato, the bands being the Frank, the Clancy, and the Chuck on the side of Eclipse Esports. A first draft of Cordelius for STMN. The bands for STMN being the Nita, the Meg, and the Carl.
Yeah, I like what we've got here. Hot Potato will possibly decide it all.
Could be the
Cordelius, yeah. Cordelius is an early pick from STMN EU. Not something that I'd really expect, but maybe it's kind of that preventive measure to the Chuck or another tank, something like that, like the Primo just rolling on in from Eclipse, because so far, they may have played some defensive brawlers, but they've been offensive with them. Colette going to roll on in after that one as well. Obviously, with the hypercharge, you're going to be dealing a lot of damage to the safe.
Certainly tanks can really appear out of nowhere on Hot Potato and just go on that base race. So the Colette I quite like for the reason of defense, and also just being able to stay in that position in the mid. Just, you know, hypercharges we know on Colette, devastating, absolutely devastating on the safe, and it's a really good, solid first pick here for Eclipse Esports. The Berry as well. I mean, this is starting to turn into a comp that if left untouched on the safe can just absolutely shred through it, and it'll just go from immediately bad to worse.
I wouldn't mind a thrower here from STMN. If we see the return of a Barley or something like that, I wouldn't mind it. Good against the Colette, good against the Berry, or at least can fight the Berry, is what I mean. Not really like kind of a hard counter or anything like that, but STMN, you've got a lot of answering to do here, being a set down and 2 very capable brawlers in the hands of Eclipse Esport in possibly their deciding set. As the time ticks down, STMN EU's pick should come through, and it's Buzz. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
Buzz can be amazing on this map. Dynamite as well. I mean, it's definitely one of the go-to throwers for sure. I wouldn't mind the Barley, but a great Dynamite player on this map can just do wondrous things with the wall break there potentially as well. A final pick for Eclipse Esports, but of course the Berry can just cause so much damage as well on the safe with a simple pop of the gadget, and then does that next shot will linger so long on the safe, causing a lot more damage over time. Eclipse Esports just thinking about this a little bit more. It's like Gugu's the man behind the drums, just browsing through, holds his hands up, and let's see. They seem like they are just conferring on the side of Eclipse. We a surge pick. I mean, it's a risky one to have. I mean, you've really got to get off that early mark, and we've seen time and time again how that can really come back to bite teams. If the surge is just really deprived the whole way through, it doesn't provide anything at all for the squad.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. If they want to deprive the surge, they've got to halt the aggression that Buzz wants to bring to the table. And
because cycle so well it does.
You've got to, yeah, I mean, you've got to question if you know, STMNE, you take a different approach and don't just go for the safe with the buzz and kind of play a bit more passive, go for the kills on the berry with the gadgets and the supers, or if they just want to go for it and hope that Gugu can't do as much as I'm sure he wants to.
And in we go for STMN. Such an important set that they have no choice but to win. For Eclipsar Esports on the cusp of greatness now. 2 games separating them from a ticket to the Brawlstars World Finals. Great stun though from Drage, finds OPE, and the follow-up is there, but actually OP survives. Oh, he gets Mavis as well. He's absolutely going to town. It's allowed Angel Boy and Bobby all ways to get on the safe immediately.
Is that triple kill? Beautiful from Drage, super onto Mebius surely as well, but Angel Boy brings him into the realm. I'm not sure if that was going to hit or not, but this should still be a kill for Angel Boy. OP finds the kill now, and Bobby comes off spawn and backs that berry up into this right-hand side, but 51% from a singular push is a good start for STMN.
Here's that berry damage over time. Eclipsar Esports were able to get into the position for it. On the top side, it's still just the 51% for STMN as they go on the attack yet again. Drage so dangerous, we've already seen. OP knows it, goes in early, gets the stun on the side of Drage, and he's staying alive. Maybe it's just able to evade it by a pixel and gets the takedown they need on the side of Eclipsar.
I mean, a super onto a dynamite is not what you want to be doing on this map. You want to be using them on safe, and that's what he's going to try and do now. But he gets brought into the realm, stopped in the tracks by Angel Boy, who's trying to make a run for it, and he has survived. He's got behind the wall, and Drage knows that he's coming out, but Berry's just going to leave Cordelius on the safe. Hypercharge going to be used by Angel Boy to try and stay alive, but it's getting closer.
Look at the scoreline. These berry shots over time are really giving Eclipsar Esports less and less to have to do to be able to finalize the game. Drake with the same hypercharge as well. There should be a ton of damage coming in. Bobby is there as well, and that should be a game going the way of STMN.
I mean, the gameplay from Drage, absolutely incredible on that Dynamite early game. 51% from him getting 3 kills and just allowing his team to just swarm the opposition. Absolutely beautiful from STMN in the early game, and that's exactly what they need. He's not going to be given that free roam again in this second game, though. He was able to just pace up the map. Nobody was on the left-hand side to stop him.
I don't know when I've seen Drage on a Dynamite pick, let alone playing Dynamite like that. But like you say, Eclipsar Esports very much now attuned to it. Gugu pushing his left-hand side, Angel Boy jumps over there, gets the takedown as well, but Mavis and Drage here. If Drage feeds into Mavis too quickly, it's going to be a lot of damage. Bobby left untouched, damage gear rolling in onto the safe as well. And it's much the same story as STMN. Get that early lead.
I was going to say, speaking of a lot of damage, that's happening up top. OP's going to be able to jump in now, gets hit by Drage though. Angel Boy trying to make a run for it. Maybe it's the only one who can really go back and try and defend him, but the position he's got now, really good, and Gugu's going to miss the super onto him and get killed as well.
Angel's Boy is playing an incredible Cordelius, just depriving Mavis of any defensive capability now, as all 3 members of STMN purple the safe. It's trickling down 24%, 20 now. I don't know whether Angel Boy can finish this, but he's going to make a really good attempt to do so. Staying alive, 9, 5, he's still there, 1, oh my word!
Still going, they need to get the kill, but a stun's there. Bobby's going with the gadget, and Super finds the last blow, and set 5 will decide who goes to Worlds.
Just when you think it's all over, we're going the distance. Unbelievable response from STMN, who just sprang to life out of nowhere. I did not see that set going their way. I thought this was done in Bounty. Oh my word, we are now in for such a treat. 1 set to decide a year's work, going to Worlds or going home.
Every single player on STMN doing their part. Bobby getting so much damage, Drage in the first game. Angel Boy just couldn't die.
Unreal.
He just surviving the entire time. It's crazy how well they just played, but that needs to be the same again in this next set. If ECP play like they did in Bounty, they win it. If STMN play like they did in the Heist, they win it. If they both play that well, we're in for a treat.
This is the thing, it's like the battle of the inconsistencies, isn't it? It really is. You know, I mean, when you look at this series and just how much it's fluctuated along the way, it's really tough to call who's going to take this next set. And it's such an important draft now to get right. And this feels like each time, I've got to come back around to Drage as we're seeing him on the replays. I don't recall seeing him playing Dynamite really ever. He's pretty much been on the Larry and Laurie picks all year long, and he's been thriving off the back of them. But the Dynamite really came through. Such a nice one for STMN to drop there.
Yeah, maybe it's with 2. I mean, he's got some decent DPS, it's fine, but what do we see? 1 super on safe, if that? He was just getting stopped every time. Buzz super to his face, Cordelia super stopping him, and upon his return, there was a Dynamite shot waiting for him. Like, everything that he was trying to do was being answered.
Not really too much in terms of the statistics. Lower DPS than sort of STMN, actually. I mean, OP did his best on 321. 7 kills for Gugu, 5 for OP, 2 for Mobius, but it's all about the objective play. And really, I loved that Cordelia's pick, and you can see how much STMN valued it. Getting that in first, and we were discussing about what its role was going to be, and it really was just to take away that Colette, which was the response on the side of Eclipsar, so they picked it into that. So, I mean, wonderful stuff. A really fantastic draft, but it had to be executed in very much that same fashion. Not an easy one to make work, but make it work, STMN did.
I mean, it had to be executed exactly like that. That is the pretty much only way that it wins. And that's what I said. I was like, okay, they've got Buzz. They need to make a decision. Do they just go and feed Surge, accept that, accept the fact that he's going to get levels and you might be able to get some kills? And that's exactly what they did. They made the right decision. They made the plays. They got the kills. They got the damage, and they got the set because of it now. And it is going to be a set 5 between STMNEU and Eclipsar Esports to decide who goes all the way, and what better way than knockout on Flaring Phoenix to decide who is going to the World Finals and who will have their year ending in August. Barley going to be the first pick from STMN. We've seen it work for them already. Drage on these throwers seems to be working. Tick, Mandy, and Kit going to be banned out. Frank, Larry and Laurie and Berry on the right-hand side. Clearly they know what they want. They know they want these throwers, and they've said no to that.
Yeah, definitely a clear indication there from Eclipsar. They just don't want to deal with that at all. Barley then, for STMN, could provide a lot more value actually over time. Meg, for Eclipsar, it's dangerous. We've seen it time and time again in the drafts, coming forwards now into the full force of things, and Genes combined with it. Those healing paths over time in a game mode like this, it's really valuable. One false move, and you're going to be pulled in with a magic hand and taken down very, very quickly to even out the playing field. So a dangerous start, actually, in terms of this draft for STMN.
It's looking like a last pick max to me. With Mebius on that brawler as well. That is a danger to leave unattended if STMN.
I'll start open.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it just looks like a Gene Max and Megcom would just work for them, especially with how good they are on Max, no matter who picks it up. Bobby takes the Pearl. You build up that heat, you get the damage down, and it can work really well against Meg if that's exactly what you do, but you can't be wasting those shots, which means a lot of the time, you're not scanning those bushes.
And who can forget the last Gene Pearl interaction and how that fared for Foot Esports versus Space Station Gaming in the final grand final of the year for them. It was the very interaction that placed Foot Esports into the LCQ and allowed Space Station Gaming to go to the World Finals. Angelo, it's definitely a strong brawler to have. It's quite hard to make work on this map, in my opinion, just a little bit more so, but with a little wall break as well will provide some places for that Angelo to be able to maneuver here. But this third and final pick for Eclipsar, it could be something very, very dangerous here, and I'm feeling much better about that draft, even looking at what STMN have got on the left-hand side.
It's going to be a Sprout. It is going to be a Sprout. They're going to take that thrower, try and, obviously, against that, in a 1v1 matchup, Sprout outranges Barley any day of the week and will make it work. I like the Angelo just because of the fact that if they don't take the jump gadget to be able to jump away from the Gene gadget, the Gene pull, they're going to be able to shoot through those unbreakable walls in the closing seconds, charge up a shot, get the damage down before that initial interaction starts to go.
See Gugu there just trying to rile up the crowd, get them cheering, get them on side for this match. For STMN, it's just business as usual. The most important set of the year for these two teams is go.
Here we go. Sprout coming down this right-hand side. Angel Boy playing straight through the mid on the Angelo. And I don't think you want anybody else on a sharpshooter other than him. Drage playing this left-hand side, trying to stop Mebius in his tracks. And I've got a feeling it's going to be a very, very slow set, as we don't start very fast at all.
Yeah, no one wants to feed over any utility. Of course, Bobby on the Pearl pick is going to be much stronger in the late game once the gas starts to close in. So he is more than happy to let this one play itself out slowly. No doubt about that. Eclipsar Esports now might have to consider going in a bit more aggressive. The Gene pull towards the end would be much better for them to have now and try to obtain, as OP's trying to get that early wall.
Question is Gene really finding any shots at all to be able to get the pull? I haven't even seen him hit one of the long-range shots. There we go. First signs now, as he was on that right-hand side against Angel Boy, and now he's going to be able to scout out this mid a lot better. But Drage took some fire on that left-hand side, now starting to spam down. Angel Boy gets a shot onto Mebius. Wall comes in, doesn't really block that much off, but the gas is going to pin them. Now that healing tonic is there, Mebius going to get pinched in, forced towards the gas. Gets the burn down onto him. Mebius going to be able to come out of this, but he does survive it. Bobby rotating round, but he's getting nowhere. Drage going to have to accept defeat. OP gets his wall back, and Eclipsar starts strong.
What a beautiful wall from OP. It just diminished so much of that Pearl damage and just kept Eclipsar Esports in the question. Unbelievable stuff. A very convincing first round for them. As Angel Boy, the left-hand side, just trying to seek out something off the back of this. He needs to get super on the Angelo pick. He needs to be able to get that poison rolling in. Drage now has the last call as well, but it's his teammates that are kind of behind in terms of that utility.
Yeah, I mean, this ECP draft just seems so well-rounded. There really isn't a hole in it whatsoever. Everything just seems pretty perfect. Sprout's got a wall as well to just be able to block this avenue off if they wait that long. They're going to get stuck in spawn with the gas yet again, and we're going to see the rotation with the Meg over to the right-hand side. But Drage and Bobby still just locked down, playing this mid, and Angel Boy on the left, sorry.
Well, time's ticking down. The gas will be coming in shortly, and Gugu has the magic hand as well. I wonder whether STMN are aware to it. Can actually swap lanes last minute there as well. Might gain a little bit of damage from that poison, but nothing that wouldn't be recovered on the way in. There's the first wall from OPE is now. That is going to be blocking up Angel Boy, who's definitely on his own here, but the heals from Drage are right in the nick of time here. Bobby's pulled in. Bobby goes down. OPE should trickle over to the poison, making it 2 versus 1 now. He's surviving, but maybe still in mech. They've got to get him out. It's a 1v1. There's a lot of splash moves with nowhere to go into the gas, and Drage stays standing.
I mean, it's just whoever was going to take more damage from the gas, and that was Mebius. Drage survives it on out. Beautiful stuff. And honestly, I thought the Mega was going to be able to clutch the 1v2 there, but it was not the case. And we carry on. Game 3 will decide it.
Oh, you can just feel how tense this situation is now. OP has the hypercharge, not necessarily the strongest of the brawlers to really have one at the moment, but the aggression is there. He's popping it now. The additional speed will go a long way. The heals yet again from Drage, but that is the last gadget. It's not going to be available in the late game.
Yeah, hypercharge from the thrower counterpart though here now, and Mebius doing a great flank. Bobby able to get some great shots in though, almost brings him out of mech. Drage hypercharge in hand. Supers galore, ready for STMN. They're thrown out now, zoning everybody into a really tough spot and just allowing STMN out of spawn.
A little bit of a hesitation from Drage today. If he'd gone straight in, he may have got the takedown of OPE, but nonetheless, STMN survived what was looking like a dangerous push there. Good connection from Angel Boy onto Gugu, keeping him low and forcing that Gene away from the mid. Maybe it's so dangerous. Bobby needs to get really cooking on that pearl pit, quite literally.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get the super off. Angel Boy can't find the short Drage there. What a pull from ECP. Gugu hits it. Drage the last one surviving. 1v3. What do you do? Eclipsar, match point.
Oh my word, you can feel it. Eclipsar know it. They've got STMN into a corner. And they're fine to play it aggressive, they're fine to play it passive. They don't care. What matters is staying on their feet and being there for each other when the moment matters most. Unbelievable here, as it could be the end of STMN for a second time this year, let's be honest.
STMN can't seem to catch a break, but ECP just playing it so well, and so far they're deserving of this set with how they've played. The lockdown from OP has just been absolutely brilliant. Angel Boy just kind of sitting on the left-hand side, really been out of play for the majority of the game.
Yeah, both sides I feel will do very much the same until Eclipsar want to turn it up a gear. Angel Boy struggling again to find these connections, like I said before, coming in. It's a tough match for Angelo on this map. Good connection there to Gugu, but no one there to really follow up as OP does not want to be fed a wall on that right-hand side. It's some good taps, it's good value, but again, it's not really for too much unless there's a follow-up.
Bobby trying to make the move now, gets the burn down, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. He will, he's so low. Angel Boy might be able to hit him with a gadget or something. He does find it! He gets it out of nowhere! Wasn't expecting that. Super available, Mebius low in the mech as well. Got to be able to get these kills. They're pinching up onto the Sprout, sending him into the gas to make it a 1v3 versus a Meg with no mech. And STMN EU play it perfectly and get the first round.
What a golden shot in the dark for Angel Boy. Unreal, honestly. And what a time for it. A round for STMN, but they've got to turn this round into a game. They really do. And there is plenty of time for Eclipsar to turn it on.
Will we see a double match point? Still one round needed for just that by STMN to drag Eclipsar all the way. Angel Boy has a super in hand. Last time that he had that, I'm pretty sure they won the round as well. Closing the late game, it shuts off paths, it gives that extra poison, it gives the heals. It's got so much value, and it allows Angelo to actually do something in the late game.
Yeah, they can't feed Gugu. They really can't afford to on the side of STMN. They've got to breeze this round and get things back to normality here. Angel Boy's going to be dangerous now with that super to hand. And the Eclipsar Esport know it. Drage, I'm sure, still has some gadget to hand for the heals. Yep, does for sure. And Bobby too, as we know that Pearl can just tear through. That's the super that they did not want to feed Gugu.
Yeah, pulls there. Oh, he gets Drage pulled in. He hasn't really got that much help. The heals there. Gugu falls low. Bobby Bobby should be able to finish that one, but OP, what? Just shoot it. Gugu gets the kill. Shot for Angel again with the gadget. Hypercharge is going, and double match point will decide who goes to Worlds.
Unreal. I was so worried for Bobby. It took a while to get them to down, right?
He shot the wall, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I was like, come on, let's go. We need to get that kill secured. What's taking so long? Some definite mistakes for STMN, but they were able to reap good on things. And now, just 3 rounds, maybe not even that, to determine this one out. Crazy stuff. Unreal.
I was really hoping I actually wasn't crazy. I was like, did he just shoot that wall? And I was like, just to make sure that I'm not being completely stupid and call him out for nothing. Meg gonna be over the right-hand side. Drage just holding him back. Angel Boy, gadgets back in pocket, and they have been so dangerous.
Well, STMN last time around to gain that game had a much better strategy. Just do not feed OP, do not feed Gugu. We've got plenty of time to hold back. And Angel Boy is tapping on this Angelo. Like I said, it's a tough brawl to make work with where that mid is situated. And Drage has got to time those hills correctly. And if the aggressiveness of Eclipse or Easel is too much, then those get exacerbated early and leaves nothing for the late game. So there's one coming down now.
Gadget pop by Bobby, looking for the shots to come on in, tries to pitch Mebius, but caught off guard. Vengeful Spirit sent out with the heals there from Drage. Kills left and right on both teams, but it's just Drage remaining. Mebius and OP surely going to be able to secure this one down. He just wants his super, and he gets it. The last call has been so influential, but super from OP, super from Mebius, and they're 1 round up.
They fed OP the wall. You know, that's going to be a great starting hand, and immediately goes down exactly that. A tough position, replanted actually on the side of OP. Wasn't happy with it, just to get the wall break maybe onto the bush. I didn't mind that, but definitely a very tough position now for STMN as it's fight or flight.
Pivot then from Bobby, goes to the left-hand side. Angel Boy slots through the mid, trying to catch someone off guard, but Gene will say no to that. Surely, along with the vision gear, able to just scout him out so easily. And Meg moves along with Angel Boy, wants that matchup. Gugu with pull. Drage might not know, and this is just lurking so much.
A tough position for Angel Boy, and that she still concedes a shot. These bounces from OP are beautiful. And the replant coming in yet again. Could place Bobby out of order on that left-hand side. He's actually going to go to the right-hand side potentially here. OP just contemplating things. What a great wall. STMN, they're going to be pushed back into a corner here. Drage flashing the last call, goes in early with it. I didn't mind that.
Yeah, but none of his team are able to really move that much. Like, it's the last call for nothing. It just kind of gets them out of the way. OP's going to be able to bring that one back. Gene pull available, but the burn down damage from Bobby does come in. Angel Boy gets the shot through the wall. Super available now. Tries to get the damage down. Someone goes up top, but Drage and Bobby locked in. Still got so much health thanks to these heals. He needs the kills. Maybe it's so low. Maybe it's feet Drage. STMN get it. It's down to the last round to decide it all.
It could not be closer. Gugu's got the ball as well. Do STMN know that? They've got to be so cautious. But Bobby's got super. Drake has super. They've got to focus in the present, because off the back of that, it's going to be hard to reset their mental. Honestly, it came so close. 1 round. Who goes to Worlds? Who goes home?
Last call from Drage again. It's the same as Gugu. Whoever has one of those supers usually getting the job done. The zoning ability of just having the gene pulse so much, but Drake can actually zone with that super. Angel Boy, gadget in hand, and that is a scary prospect, along with this burnout from Bobby, being able to just explode in the last seconds.
No more heals left for Drage either. This is going to be the most important super of Gugu's life. It's got to land the mark. And he can't really go on to Bobby because he's got super ready to roll, and the amount of damage that he can rain in could be too much for ECP to be able to defend here. Gas, not too far away now, is coming in. This is where it matters for both of these two teams. Everything on the line now.
Last call goes out. Bobby tries to get the burn down damage. Maybe a solo, almost out that mech. There's the gadget shot, but the wall comes in. Drage pinned down the pull on Bobby. Super not there. Drage falls. ECP surely do it. Angel Boy goes down. And Eclipse are going to World Finals.
Look at the celebrations. Of all the teams you would least expect, it's got to be Eclipse who are going to be running down the stage. Unbelievable stuff for them. A whole year's work, and you can see it in the faces of STMN. Devastated. Angel Boy there. Heartbroken.
Brutal for the STMN boys, but Eclipse are on top of the world. Loving life, celebrating the amount of passion out of these boys as they make it to the World Finals. Absolutely huge for them.
They had the crowd behind them. Towards the end, you could feel it, you could sense it. But STMN did take them down literally to the wire. A single round was all that was in it to determine it. But Eclipse or Esport have done the unthinkable.
We're going to have an interview in just a moment with Ian and Eclipse